Hello, building manager. I'm going to go through a couple of basic instructions for how to set up the Midas or Behringer mixers that we have in storage. You're going to encounter the Behringer mixers. I believe there are two of them up in PH1, and down here there's an MR18 made by the company Midas. Both Behringer and Midas are the same thing. They're owned by Behringer. And the physical layout on the machinery, which you should see right here, is essentially almost exactly the same as the Behringer. The Behringer has a 1/4-inch inputs along the bottom row, and they're only 1/4-inch inputs and not XLR inputs. You're not going to really have to worry about that too much. If you have questions, talk to me later. But we're going to start at the most basic level of how to get, some signal into the system and how to do some basic controls of it, just to get you off and running. Finer adjustments like, EQ and compression we'll probably do in a different video. Okay. As you probably know, you're going to be controlling the mixer from a device like a laptop or an iPad or even your phone. If you want, you can install the software on your phone. The software for iPads, tablets, and for phones is not as easy to navigate as the laptop software, in my opinion. So it might make sense for you to just stick with the laptop or the computer application rather than a tablet or a phone for a while, at least until you get your footing or get a footing on how to control everything. Because the applications in the tablets, there are a lot of layers and different pages you have to go to get to different settings, and it can be confusing at first. But for now, we're just going to stick with the computer software. Okay, so you're going to be controlling everything with a laptop. And the way you're going to do that is wirelessly. And the way you're going to do that is with a router, right? You're going to have the laptop talk to the router. So I just happen to have right here a router, all right? It's on, you can see that. And in the back, you've got 4 outputs. They're orange, and they're different than the blue, which is an input. Okay? So you're going to use one of the outputs. Doesn't matter which one, but do not use the input. And from there, you're going to connect, I don't know if you can see this too well. Sorry about my camera work. You're going to connect this to the remote input on the mixer. You see that? Turned up with an amber light and yellow or amber, and now we know that it's communicating with the mixer is communicating with the router. That is right here. I'll just caution you on one other thing. This switch right here, you should be able to see it, needs to be set to this line right here, which is connected to the Ethernet input. Because if you use these other two, those are for different things, which we don't need to worry about at the moment. Okay, we have our router connected to the mixer. The other thing we have here, I'll show you with my camera. Let's see if you can see that. There are 3 XLR inputs here. Those are for 3 microphones that I'm going to be talking into, and you'll see that show up on the in the software in just a moment. Okay, so from a let's do it here. This is a Mac, obviously, so it looks a little different than Windows. But what we want to do is we want to go to our Wi-Fi setting, our Wi-Fi icon, and we want to find either a TP-Link router or the Netgear routers. If for some reason you're using a device that has never connected to that router before, what you're going to need to do is type in a password. The passwords are all found underneath, written on the sticker underneath the router, so you'll have to do that. Okay, so we're connected there. Whoops. I just disconnected it, but that should come back in a second, hopefully. Oh boy. Well, let me reboot the thing. Let's restart. Actually, okay, there you go. All right, so once we get a positive indication here, we know we're connected. And here is the imagery, the image for a Windows Wi-Fi setup. You're going to go to this little icon at the bottom right of the screen. It's the world for World Wide Web. It's got a little 0 with a slash through it, meaning no World Wide Web. It's here in orange. And once you click that, you're going to get this window. It's going to pop up. And then from this tab here, this little arrow, you're going to see all of your available networks. And from there, you can connect to the TP or Netgear Wi-Fi router. Okay, pretty clear. I don't think anyone is going to have a problem with this, but you never know. Okay, so now we have our device connected to the router, and we need to now start up the software to control the mixer. There are two types. There's XAir, which you can see here, and there's MAir. It's a personal preference. I like the MAir. It's a little bit, it's got better coloring on it, so, which allows you to differentiate between various knobs and so forth. But it's also made for the Midas, which is a sort of higher level. So it's just the one I use, but either will work fine. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. Now, as you notice at the top, it says MAir Edit device not connected. Okay, so we're going to connect. The way you connect is by going over to the setup right here by these gear icons. We're going to hit that. And because we're connected to the router is connected to the mixer, we see that the MR18 shows up as a device that we can connect to. I'm going to go over to connect, this tab right here. You can see that hopefully with my mouse. I click it. Now it's going to ask me, do I want to synchronize from the mixer to the PC or from the PC to the mixer? The difference between the two is not real complex. It is, if we went from mixer to PC, we would be taking all the settings that existed currently on the mixer and transferring them over to the software. However, we just want to start from scratch here, and I zeroed out this the software. So I actually want to put all of the zeroed out settings from the software onto the mixer. So we're going to go PC to mixer will be our direction. And it warns you that the parameters will all be set to this, and I'm okay with that. Okay, it says connected, we're connected. I'm going to get rid of this window. All right. You know that I have 3 microphones physically connected to the mixer, and those are going to be in channels 1, 2, and 3. And we'll start with channel 1. You will find a control for gain. Sorry, I was about to say we need to set the gain, both under the channel tab right here or the input tab. For now, let's just use the input tab because there's a lot less stuff cluttering it up. But you can do it from either place. All right, input, channel 1, mic gain. This you must do before you do anything else. It's the first thing you do, right? Because nothing will work properly unless your gain levels are set properly. Okay, I'm going to raise this up, and I'm just going to tell you without getting into it too deeply, I have found in general that 30 is a good place to start. You might have to raise this up a little bit, let's say to 33 or possibly to, I don't know, 37 or so. Generally speaking, you won't have to go much above 30, so let's just leave it there for now. As you can tell, what's happening down here, we're getting some signal, right? I'm on channel 1. I got signal coming in, but it's very low. That's because I'm not really talking into the microphone, but we'll get back to that. So I'm now going over to channel 2. And again, I'm going to raise this up using my scroll wheel to do it. You can use on the laptops, some of the laptops are touchscreen. You can do that as a touchscreen also. Okay, so now I've set channel 2 to 30 decibels. And I'm going to do that to number 3 also. Channel 3. Whoops. Okay, so all 3 mics, which you can see here, are connected. I don't know which is which. So this is this one. Check, 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 check. Okay. We have signal. And before we do anything else, I'm going to just take you over here to the main left and right output. All mixers work exactly as I'm about to describe. This is a fader. It's called the fader. This fader over here, when I raise it up or down, decides, or by you raising it up or down, you decide how much channel gain you're going to be sending to the main left and right output over here. Now I'm going to raise this up to 0. Actually, I'm going to just type it in. 0.0, and we'll leave it there. We're not going to change that at all. Okay, I'm coming back to channel 1. And, oops, I forgot which it was. Check, check. Okay, it's this mic that I'm speaking into here. You can see how that's getting up to about -30. And it could be a little higher, but we can work with that. Let me move this up to 33 or 34 just to see what I get. Check, check. Okay, so that's about right. For now, it's plenty of gain. And I'm going to do the same thing here. One more time. Check, check, check. Check, check. And I'll raise this one up. These are identical microphones, so we're not going to see much of a difference at all between any of them. Channel 3, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Channel 3. Whoops. Put it on channel 3. And I'm going to raise this up to 34. Okay, so now we have a healthy amount of signal going into all 3 channels. Anytime you are using more than one microphone, you need to do this every time, what I'm about to show you. We're going to come over here to the right side of the application, and you're going to go to Auto Mix. You're going to choose X. Okay? It's just groups. So it's one group of Auto Mix can be 8 channels. So X would be 1 through 8, Y would be 9 through 16. But for now, we're just going to leave it on X, and then I'm going to come back to these channels here, 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to hit this button these little tabs here. And what I've done effectively is every time somebody talks into one of the microphones, the other channels are going to lower, meaning that you're going to have less chance to feedback or have ringing in the system. Because essentially what you've done is you've taken 3 mics and made it as though you only have 1 mic working, which is a lot easier to manage. Okay, now, so I'm going to say this. Channel 1, the first channel is Mr. Loud, okay? That's his name. Second channel is Ms. Quiet. She's quiet, okay? And this one is going to be Ms. Normal. And she's going to have a normal level. So with Mr. Loud, I might just raise him up like this much, let's say. I don't know because I don't have speakers connected, but I'm just guessing. Ms. Quiet is not giving us a lot of signal. So she's going to get moved up in the fader, on the fader path a little higher than Mr. Loud because Ms. Quiet is not giving us enough signal, right? And Ms. Normal is probably just going to be a split between the two somewhere. Depends. Okay? You might have had to raise up Ms. Quiet's gain a little more, but you can't just keep cranking it up. At a certain point, you're going to need to figure out ways of increasing her intelligibility with either an EQ or compressor or some other tool, because we can't just take the mic gain and let it fly. So something to keep in mind here that sounds sort of scientific, but if you grasp this concept, you'll be able to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And that is that every time you raise a fader here or lower a fader, we have 3 that are in slightly different positions, right? Let's come down on Mr. Loud a little bit. What a fader does is it decides how much of mic gain is going to make its way to the main left and right output over here. You see this? Main left and right. The main left and right outputs are what is being sent to the speakers that the audience is listening to. Okay? So here, even though we have set the same gain level for each channel, we have decided to send less of Mr. Loud's gain to the main output, more of Ms. Quiet's, and a split of the two between for Ms. Normal. So one more time, the faders decide how much gain is making it to the main left and right, which is the audience. Okay? And now, I'm going to take one of these microphones here. I don't know. I guess that I have Mr. Loud's. Okay? Let me try number 2. Okay, here's Ms. Quiet. What you should see here is that when I'm talking into this, there are blue lines coming down. See this? The blue lines coming down represent the amount of gain reduction that's happening in the other 2 channels. See if I raise up Mr. Loud's, check, I should get a little bit more. Yeah, there's some activity. So notice, every time I start talking, these blue lines on these other channels come down and effectively automatically move the volume level down on those other 2 channels, allowing you to reduce your feedback potential, because you have, it's like taking 3 mics and turning them into just 1 mic. And this does this automatically, electronically, so it's very fast and very effective. Okay, so that's the basic setup. I will make another video for you to watch about what to do after you've got this basic part set up. But this is the most important thing right now. If you are outside, in other words, outdoors, or you're in the Point here, I have discovered the Point is a very good sounding room. And if you're outdoors, that's the best sound, because there's no way it's going to reverberate and cause problems for you that way. You may not actually have to do anything additionally to the signal to try to control it, because you're not being given any obstacles to that. In a clean sonic environment like outside, or in a good room like the Point here, very few adjustments are necessary. Okay? Now, after you watch this, if you have any questions about this part of the video, get in touch with me and we will go over it. But this should give you enough to just at least get off and running. Okay? Thank you for watching. See you later.